Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're talking about something that makes me very, very happy. It is the return of our book stream, and we are beginning a new book, the Elfstones of Shannara. So, thank you everyone that's been following along with us, and all your well wishes and all that kind of a thing. I do appreciate it. Well, this week we are joined once again by Princess Rennie.
Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Stieg. Always fun to be here. Hope you guys are well this morning. It's been a pretty good Saturday morning for me.
Yay. And all the way from the future, the one, the only, the Viking himself, it is Stieg Kenobi.
Hello, how do you do?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. How's the future?
Getting chilly.
Oh.
Winter's starting to kick in soon.
Oh.
Winter is coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or winter is here. Okay, and we are
Imagine it being named Winter.
Oh no.
Oh, that would be a good exotic dancer name.
Oh. Well, we all know he's lying. He's really coming to us from Downton Abbey. Did you hear how he said, "How do you do"? People don't say that in Norway.
I'm also drinking tea, blackcurrant tea.
See, there you hear it. You hear it?
Yeah. I'm still not from England, though. I just like tea.
I had Earl Grey this morning. It was good.
You had a grape?
Earl Grey tea.
Oh. I was like, I had a grape for breakfast.
Yeah, that would be a tiny breakfast.
Yeah. Hey, well, we ladies, we gotta
be dainty.
Yes. I had I made myself a London fog while I was in the lounge at the airport, and Stieg wasn't approving of it.
It looked like a tea bag resting on top melting ice cream.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Yeah, because it had all the froth. Because they have like a cappuccino machine there. It's the one in Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever been to that one lounge or any.
No, I haven't.
And they have this awesome cappuccino machine, and one of them you can just get steamed milk. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to take an Earl Grey tea bag." And
yeah, girl.
Yeah, I did, and I had two of them. So there. While I was reading my books and doing my crochet. Well, we have here in the chat, we have Jacob Ironside. Hello, he's saying hi to Stieg. I guess he doesn't like Rennie. Rennie. Rennie blew up the Death Star by flushing a cherry bomb down the toilet.
Wow, that's a fucked up thing to do.
Look, don't judge me. It wasn't the real Death Star. I was protesting.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what that is all about.
I have no idea.
George Lucas is here. Wait, I don't see George Lucas.
I think early chat entries aren't showing.
Oh, those bastards. Hello, the Tad that shouldn't be. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Everyone's saying hi to each other. We love each other here. Oh, Jacob Ironside is drinking Irish breakfast tea.
Is that whiskey?
No, that's called Irish coffee. Irish breakfast is very similar, a blend to the English breakfast, but it's actually a little bit stronger.
Groovy.
The Tad that shouldn't be. This is the earliest I have woken up on Saturday since July. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. And thank you for being here and sharing it with us.
Maybe you'll have a literary awakening as well. I don't think so, though. But hopefully you'll have fun.
Yeah. We have fun here at Miss Martin Muses. And for a variety of reasons, we took last Saturday off. And so I'm just really kind of excited to be here and discuss this. Oh, okay. There he goes. Jacob says hi to Rennie now. It says hi to Teresa. Oh, that's me. Yes.
Nancy likes me better. See, he mentioned me way earlier.
Oh, don't get used to it.
Yeah. Don't give him a big head here. Jacob's been doing some art. So if y'all want to follow him on Twitter, and he's just broke 100 subs on YouTube.
Oh,
So yay,
congrats.
yay! Elfstones is one of my 5 favorite books of all time. Says a tad that shouldn't
It,
be.
it
Oh,
actually is
nice.
damn good. And also keep in mind, uh, we're doing non-spoilers, so we're not spoiling past the chapters that we're covering per episode.
I
Thank
was
you
going to
for.
say, I thought we were spoiling the chapters we've read. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we're
but
going
there are
one.
twists in it,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
like when
Um.
Hendel shows up and isn't really dead. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shut up.
He's really
Oh.
dead.
Oh. I'm mean. I'm mean and. We, yeah. I've got a bad attitude.
It's okay to
Um.
have tea.
Okay. Yeah, you do have tea. You do have tea. I have Snickers coffee. So, oh, look, it is Subhuman 84. Thank you for being here. Thank
Hey,
you for being
Subhuman.
here. Yay.
Hello.
How things out on the road. I appreciate what I've been hearing what y'all been going through. I hope Brandon's not effing you all up too bad. But
Yeah,
thank you for
likewise.
popping in and saying hi to us. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people I know really, really, really like this book. I've been liking it so far. Um, I'd like to open it up maybe to the panel a little bit. Rennie, what are your first impressions of this book?
Well, it's starting out slow, so of course, I'm liking the first book better so far. And it could be just because of, like Steve was saying when I told him about this earlier, is it's a lot of exposition and who's who and what's what kind of thing. So, I'm like, come on, let's get into it, let's do this.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but of course, a lot of books start off like that.
Almost all of the Terry Brooks ones.
Yeah. So, so far I'm liking it. We do see some familiar faces, and I want to give that away before we get there. But so that's kind of nice. And then there's some spooky stuff that happens, but it's kind of cool. So I like that. And yeah, I don't know. So far, I think it's a pretty good book, but we're just at the beginning, so we shall see.
Okay. Well, yeah. I I kind of agree with you, but I think less so than the first book. Was
Yeah,
I feeling lost? And I like the way it kind of jumped right into basically what the main problem is with the the whole thing. The what's starting off with the Elcrease tree. That they. I thought he did that pretty well. When we get to, well, I don't know if we want to talk about uh, the character that shows up, and one of the first things he does is sit down and talk for 5 pages about a history. I'm like, okay, here we go again.
yeah.
But
It's like one of
yeah.
those, like, oh man, we just did this.
Yeah, but he is a historian as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, with that in mind, I was going to say, Steve, is there any thoughts you wanted to have before we get going?
No, like the fellow in the chat said, this is probably it's probably one of my favorite books as well. And it was the first non-Tolkien book I ever read because I started with book 2 in this series.
Mm.
So, yeah, fond memories of that one.
Oh, well, cool. Well, there we go. So, yeah, this stuff goes.
I mean,
See,
it
and
has
stories are
elves and
very.
demons in it. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's not to like?
Yep.
And other things
No,
later on.
yeah, we've gotten a lot of creepy crap going on here. And that's one of the things I think is very powerful about stories. Stories, they're not just stories. They're memories. They're parts of our childhood. We learn lessons through stories.
Yeah.
They're commentary. They take us to places. Even back when we were all cave people hanging out in the cave, what did we do? We told each other stories. So I really, really believe in the power of fiction. So here we go. Let's start with chapter 1, where we jump right into this. We have the elf world, and here let me go ahead and bring up the map. Let's see what do we have here. All right, we are looking in the western part, the Westland. So this is our world where we're hanging out right now.
Yeah, if you remember the previous book that took place in the Eastlands,
Mhm.
the city of
Mm,
Orbelon, which is seen at the top right corner, the Elven city, was all the way on the far left.
Yeah. And now we have this. So we're up at wait, Sarandan, no,
Sarandanan.
Sarandanan. See. Oh, there we go. Look, I can zoom in. So, and this is where the elves are living.
Why is a place called Whore Flats though?
Oh,
It's like
where the
no.
prostitutes
brothel
over there
is.
with no
Yeah.
with no silicone.
Well,
Oh, Kersholt Mountains. I think that's where uh, the troll from the first book was from.
mm, yeah. Well,
He also died, got squashed.
Man.
dag nabbit. Okay, I'm getting my notes ready, and I got my reading glasses. All right, so once upon a time, they're living in the Elver city of Alberon. Oh wait, did I start us in the wrong friggin' place? Oh, there it is. Whoops, Alberlon. Here we are. Yeah, and that is kind of off in the distance. And then we have the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life. No, the Garden of Life, where there is a wondrous tree known as the Elcrees, and there's a group of elves that are chosen, and they're called the Chosen for and they serve for 1 year, and they go and they look after this tree. Um, Also, they're chosen in a really weird way, or kind of creepy way, where they the tree kind of touches them and like says their name. I think it's like yikes, but yeah. So hello everyone that's coming in. Thank you for coming in. Um, so that sets the stage, and right away they tell us something's wrong. Something's wrong, and they're like, "It's wilting," and they're like, "It's not wilting," and then yes, it is, and then they start to panic. They
Yeah.
start to panic. Yeah, and so Vinny, when you're like, we know right away that it's an important tree, and why are they panicking?
Yeah. Well, the tree, at least the tree talks to them and tells them, well, it's weird the way it's described by one of the chosen, but yeah, it kind of talks to them and tells them what's going on whenever it needs to. But it's just this group of people that are chosen by the tree to take care of it. And then they start noticing, oh, she just said she's feeling sick, or, the tree's saying it's feeling sick. And then they start noticing like a tad, tiny bit of deterioration.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, now the forbidding will end and the demons within will be freed." So we have this new concept of the forbidding. And Stieg, that's something that we're going to learn more about, but that the forbidding is where a bunch of demons, no, it's something that blocks the demons, correct?
Yeah, it's basically a seal,
yes.
or rather, the Elcris is the seal. The Forbidding is a place where demons from eons ago have been um, trapped inside.
Yeah.
Don't hate me for saying this, but I think of it kind of like the Phantom Zone for demons.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And yeah, I'm kind of careful here because I don't want to spoil anything accidentally. But here I have, I think this picture is safe. I'll see if I can bring that up. Yeah. And it came from some powerful elven magic that um, that they made like, well, we're going to get into more detail about exactly where that all came from. But it's like so powerful that the the thought of it dying sends these people like into a panic. and then the tree speaks to Lauren. Lauren is the
Yeah.
chosen one who starts this out, and says to him, "Call the chosen to me," and they get this vision of all these. It says images fill their mind, and there was horror, absolute horror being contained within what they're feeling. And so you're realizing, I mean, I like this. I like the way that right away, that's what I was saying earlier. We're really jumped right into, this is serious. This is not something, some Bolshevik here, and that uh, they've got to do something about it. So, and then that's how the chapter ends. The dun 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 is the tree is dying. So, uh, so that's chapter one. These are these are shorter chapters. That's why we're able to do 8 for this week. So, Stieg, overall thoughts on this first introductory chapter?
No, it just sets the stage right away. This
Hmm.
is, the problem characters in the books in the book has to deal with. So it's yeah, bang.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tree
Yeah.
good, demons bad.
Yeah. We've got the reckoning. We got this. We got all sorts of things. Let's see. Uh, and let's see. Some people have been coming in. It's Insanity. Welcome. Hi. Oh, welcome. It sounded like I welcomed you. Yes, we've got Insanity here. We've got Boosh here. We got Check Keck 44. And I think if anyone else popped in, I'm not sure, but hello. Oh, and then there's Rennie telling us to subscribe. Yeah. All right. So before we move on to chapter 2, now that we're all panicked, we're dying, damn it, Rennie.
I know. It's like, well, sense of foreboding from the very beginning. Here we go. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So chapter number 1, we got that done. We're fudged. And then far to the west of Aberlarn, beyond the break line, there was a stirring in the air. So and then this is when we first see the villain. It is Dag Dagdamor. Am I
Yeah.
saying that right?
That sounds right because I was really struggling with how to say that. I'm like, what
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it Dagbamor or Dagdamor? Dagdamor?
Dagda.
I think yeah.
Dagdamor. Okay. So they're like all shrieking and going, yay, somewhere beyond the break line. And is what they're saying. So that must be where the little seal thing is. And out comes this big ass demon hissing with rage with a staff of power. And 2 other dark forms come out, the Reaper and the Changeling. And both of those are scary as F. What do you think of the Reaper, Rennie?
Yeah, I found him pretty foreboding because literally all he does is like kill people or creatures. So that's literally, and it's like, it's not because he wants to, it's because of that's what he does. I'm like, all right then.
Yeah, it's what he does and what he thinks is cool, and
Yeah.
and then Steve, the whole thing about the changeling, the idea that someone can take what they kill the person and then take on their persona, that's a very scary thought, because that means that anyone that you're around could be a bad guy, a
Yeah,
demon.
it's what the Democrats are campaigning on these days.
Oh,
Oh no.
Here we go. It's Celtic. Dagda would be Daya. Okay. I'll double check that. I'm trying to think. I know in Irish, you would pronounce the G and the D, but I'm not sure. I don't know which dialect you're using there. The Reaper exists for the kill. Yeah, you see, that's what scares me. It reminded me of like kind of like if you had like the relentlessness of Michael Myers, you know how he always just keeps coming no matter what, but it's just this vicious assassin.
It's
Let's
it's
see.
it's like him versus the Terminator.
Yeah. And then Tad Shinmi says, an interesting contrast considering that the Dagda was a benevolent god from the Tuatha De Danann. Okay. Cool. I'm not sure what that means, but that's okay. So in any way, so we get introduced to them, and we learn there's also other demons, but like not all of them come out. Like they kind of clawed their way out.
Yeah, it sounded very creepy, so to speak.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, and very much in keeping with what traditionally of demons. That they're only out for themselves and they only want power and they're was it hunting like a roaring lion. That's the image I know for the biblical image of the devil looking for prey. We have BC, aka the New Dark Shadow. Thank you for being here. Did y'all enjoy your Halloween celebration? No, actually, mine sucked. But we didn't have it when I was not able to. I had some things happening, but I hope you had a fun celebration. Okay. Okay. Tad showed me the uncle got me into Brooks was a diehard Irish American. I got early exposure to Celtic lore. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that's really all that we really have from this chapter, actually, because he just basically sends them out. It says killing is instinct that. Um, oh wait, there's one thing at the very end. There's a new demon that comes out, right? The monstrous winged nightmare that the demon had summoned to
Oh,
carry.
that one came out from the north. It's a creature that came from the north.
Yeah, from the Northland. Okay, so that one was already out in the world.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a demon.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. Okay, I was making sure because I have this in my notes here. All right. So the demon had summoned it. So is that going to be important? I don't think it's a spoiler for you to tell me that,
Yeah.
Steek. Okay. All right. And then he also says something very foreboding, Dagda, whatever his name is, because after tonight the chosen would all be dead.
Yeah.
So we know that they are
Being hunted.
being hunted. So Rennie, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just right away. We're in the second chapter and you already get introduced to the bad guys. So that's pretty great. To, not have like, okay, let's wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. No, you get introduced to them pretty early, but at the same time, you know, there's a sense of dread that kind of follows with it too. So it's like, okay, this guy only kills. This guy can change into anything he wants or be anything he wants, and trick people. And this guy, all he wants to do is kill this tree, and it's like, dang.
Yeah, he's like those evil corporations. Who are those idiot? In that Steven Spielberg movie, unobtainium kind of people, going around going, we
Yeah,
must kill the nature.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Stieg. So, one thing that struck me, Stieg, was how different a villain we have as opposed to the other one, as opposed to the Dark Lord, the Warlord Lord.
Yeah, this one's more feral in a way.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. And there's nothing worse than a feral demon. Well, I guess they're all feral, yeah. And their goal just basically is, well, they're going to kill everybody, and by doing that, by killing the Elcrease, and if there's no chosen, then that's how.
Yeah, because I think that Dagmar said something like, no Alchrists, no elves, and he's just wanting to exterminate the elves, pretty much is what it sounds like.
Well,
Yeah, but
elves
also,
first, then the rest.
yeah, yeah, and then it's going to be men, dwarves, trolls, and gnomes. All of those who are part of the humanity he so detested. Yeah, so I guess it has to be the elves because the elves are the ones that had the magic.
Yeah, it's like forced migration. They migrate in and take over.
Yikes.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so a nice little Halloween story. And Matt G is here with the bacon. Thank you, Matt, for being here. Oh, I always like yeah. I haven't had bacon actually since I've been back. Maybe I should have some. I had poached eggs for breakfast without the smoked salmon. So, all right. So we're gonna,
Nice.
yeah, the smoked salmon I left in my parents. So everyone should have smoked salmon. It changes your life. So we're going to move on to chapter 3, where we are now going to go over to where the king is. And we start off with his son. Oh wait, the sun was barely above when Ander Elethadiel, the second son of Eventide. Look, I said his name correctly. So we are introduced to another character. He was 40, no longer a young man, though technically wouldn't he be a young elf? His lean elven face was lined at the corners. His step was quick. And already it starts off with something a little bit foreboding because he's walking through the garden and then he's all, "Hey, Wint, the random gardener guy. Hi." So that's going to come back to get us. And his older brother is the crown prince, Arian. And it says that with the appearance, though, that Andrew was short and dark, while Arian was tall and fair. So we have dark haired elves.
Yeah. Like what is it, the Cinderin elves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of. Oh, wait, Arian's going off to the Sandarin. So you get a little bit that the older brother, that they don't quite get along. Arian is going to be the one who's going to be the king, and Anders isn't into all of that. And then they also have a bit of sadness. They mentioned that they had a sister named Anya. Sorry, a dude, and his young daughter Amberly, who had forsaken her position as one of the chosen. So dun dun dun, we now have another character, Steeg, who is being introduced to us.
Yeah. Oh, side note, the map that you're sharing, you can see the break line right at the top.
Oh, let me see. Oh, duh. Oops. Break
Yeah.
line.
Yep.
Can I break?
So they're not too far away from Arbelon already. They're nearby.
Shit. So Arbalon. Okay, and then Sarandon was where the dude's going to be going. I'm sorry if I'm messing up the map here. So, yeah, and then the whore flats.
Every guy's got to stop by that one.
Gosh darn it. Now I'm never going to be able to. Never going to be able to talk about that part without thinking of it.
And be like, hee hee, hee hee.
Yeah, I know. We're all going to turn into adolescents once again. Once again. But in any case, sorry. So, and then this Lauren, this chosen elf, he comes running up like, "Oh my gosh, like this king is still asleep." He's like, "But I must see him. I must see him at once." So Andrew's like, "Okay, oh my gosh." And I don't know. I got a feeling that there was a little bit of something between Anders and his dad, because his dad was acting. Eventide was kind of,
Standoffish with him.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like Eventide was like, meh, I mean, he's my son and I love him, but he's not the other guy,
Yeah.
So, there's definitely some favoritism going on, in my opinion. So I definitely feel that vibe as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Or,
Well, I think it even said it that Eventide liked Arian a lot more.
Yeah, he like made a comment that I thought was just really awful to Ander. Like, see, this is why your brother's king, or something to that effect. And I was like, oh, so nasty.
Boromir would have brought me a grand prize.
Right? I know. It's like somebody's a little bit
Yeah,
of
and
a dinner
Eventide used to be
wannabe.
nice in the previous book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Well,
like.
was he? We didn't know really.
Well,
He
he
could have been
seemed
an
like
ass.
it though, and he was very appreciative when Flick rescued him and did his darndest to fight hard and keep them safe. But in this book, I don't feel like Eventide's very nice. So yeah, that's a good point to bring up.
Yeah. Now, is he? I don't know if they actually said, but I also got the feeling that maybe he was dying.
No, it's just getting older.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's like what 80, I think they said, or something like that. And he's just getting geriatric and cranky, in my opinion. But he could be. I mean, I don't know, but.
Yeah. Okay, because and also through that they established that these elves are not necessarily like the elves you'd find in the not Dragonlance, the other one.
Lord of the Rings?
When Dragonlance too, but in a lot of the traditional fantasy and Lord of the Rings, yeah, that it's they don't have unnaturally long lives. I was thinking Forgotten Realms. Okay, and then we also learned that Eventine was a chosen one once, so so he knows all about it. And Eventine, when Lauren explains to him what's going on, it says there can be no mistake. She is dying. Already the erosion has begun. The forbidden will fail. There is only one chance for her, a rebirth. And
Yeah, the wood cannot maintain itself much longer.
It's gotta put its seed in something.
yeah, seed in something else into the blood fire.
Wow, virgin.
Oh,
The blood fire. Sorry.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Far from the whore flats.
But here's the deal. Eventine is genuinely shaken by this. He's almost like, I never thought what for the first time in my life I wish it were otherwise, that I am the king, I'm responsible for their protection. And so he decides to bring up all the old histories to study them.
Was it
And
this chapter, or was it another one where it felt like he was being kind of skeptical about some stuff? Because I felt like he was a bit skeptical at times.
oh, I didn't get that sense from him at all. I just more got the sense that he was like, oh, fuck, we're screwed.
No, that's true.
And almost despair, maybe, is that the right word? That there's nothing we can do, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and then this is where we also get the word safe hold, that they've got to go to this place, this mysterious safe hold. And it says, it seemed a hopeless effort, but as his father had said, what else could they do? Dun dun dun. So our dun
Yeah,
dun
then
duns.
they're about to do it.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah, the cliffhangers aren't as cliffhangery in this time around, but no, I mean I like it. It established once again very succinctly, very tightly where we're gonna be going with us.
This book is more episodic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I must admit I like it better than the Sword of Shannara in that sense, only because I'm biased right now. Just those long chapters and stuff, I had to think harder, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, that's no joke. You're spot on that one. I think I'm just a little like, these guys are all new. I want some familiar faces, and then once we get that, I felt a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you were on sure ground. Well, when we saw Eventide, I was happy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow. That was not an elf.
No.
Oh gosh. All right. So, anything else before we move on?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, then here we go. We go on to chapter 4. Yeah. Like I said, these are going very fast, but do not be deceived. There's lots in here, and then we go to chapter 4, where it's like la 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 la. Everyone's having fun. Well, and they don't realize that they might be doomed. And then Anders is, you see what he goes over to talk to Lauren, and Lauren, who I thought was going to be one of the main characters, says, I kind of feel responsible because the tree first spoke to me. But then Lauren lets Anders, do I keep calling him Anders? Ander, um, know that Amberly, and I hope I'm saying her right, used to speak all the time with the Elcrete. They would be in long, long conversation. And so not only was it rare, I think they said it was like once in every several hundred years, is there a girl that's chosen to be a chosen, but also that she would talk to her. And but then they're like, maybe we should go find her, maybe find out what they were talking about. And they're like, she's gone. Even her mother doesn't know where she went. So that's a vital piece of information that we have. So now we've got Amberly ready.
Yeah. And well, I thought it was interesting that, like, the tree rarely talks to anyone, right? Other than whenever it chooses you, or, in a dire situation. But from what Lauren was saying, which is really weird for me to think of Lauren as a man, but like just
Mhm.
from the name, but like what Lauren was saying is that the tree talked to Amberly quite a bit. Like, and so, we don't know where she went or what she's doing, but I've always had this, and I could be wrong, but I think this gets verified in a little bit. But, did she leave on her own accord, or did the tree tell her something and she tried to get a head start on it? And maybe she's trying to do some investigation, or, save the tree and just couldn't tell anyone. It might be one of those things where, if you have those certain conversations, then, you're sworn to secrecy, sort of thing. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but that's kind of the idea that I came up with as far as she goes, because it sounded like she really enjoyed being with the Elkris, as far as, like, tending to it and taking care of it. So I don't know. I don't think that she's gone on a nefarious, for a nefarious reason.
Yeah, because especially what she did, it caused shame on her and shame on her whole family.
Yeah.
So it not something she did lightly. Thank you, Insanity. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you stopping by. Have a good day. Um, yeah. Well, Steve, of course, you know more about Amberly than we do, but
I'm just going to say read and find out. I think you'll
yeah,
find out fairly soon,
okay,
eventually. Um,
yeah.
yeah, can't remember that much.
Alrighty, yeah. So it's kind of obvious, but I feel like he's spoon feeding us, but I don't mind him spoon feeding us. Especially after the other book. It's like, oh my gosh, my life, my life. Oh, hello, Zach. Thanks for being here. Always great to see you here. And everyone, thank you for popping in, and everyone that's listening, and everyone that will be listening later. If you give me a like, share, and subscribe, we're going to be continuing with more book stuff and maybe more morning musings. Um, now that I'm back for a little bit in my home base. But then at the next part is Anders goes and talks to um, his father, and see, what is it? He's been reading up on stuff, and he finds something about blood fire. And let's see. He's got all these old books. And what does it say about yeah, then shall the one seed be delivered unto the bearer that is chosen, and the seed shall be borne by the bearer to the chambers of the blood fire, there to be immersed within the fire, that it might be returned to the earth, and thereupon shall the tree be reborn, and the great forbidding endure forever. Yay! So we now have our formula. I mean, they've been hinting at it, they've been telling us it, but this is what's going to happen. And but they can't. They need to figure out where these places are because they've been searching and they can't find it, and that just sucks, Steve.
Yeah, it's Oh, and the blood fire is in Safehold,
Oh, thank you.
apparently.
Yeah, because they got to get the safe hold, and then there's blood fire.
Which in the stupid TV show was a subway station. Yeah. They put an ancient blood fire thing in a subway station. Like
Because that doesn't
millions of years
seem
ago.
weird. Yeah.
That was John Favreau's doing too. The guy's retarded.
Don't get me started on that dude.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Just because he did some good stuff with Iron Man, that doesn't mean everything else.
He's done anything else that's good.
Yeah. Precisely. Precisely. Well, uh, if I were to go off on just a tiny tangent, people got to quit putting these people on pedestals. They're not God, all right? So,
Yeah, put him in the wood chipper.
Well, not the wood chipper, but you know what I mean?
Well,
It's like, come on,
I was going to say that's a very green way to get rid of a body.
Oh, hello, Stephen Ransom from the West Coast. Thank you for being here. Yeah, what does it say here? The Ted that shouldn't be said. The only thing the TV show had going for it was the hot chicks. Yeah, no one is above criticism. No one is above criticism, and that's just all I got to say about that. And the ones that are not above criticism, for example, Terry Brooks, from what Stieg has been telling us and what some things I've been seeing, they're the ones that actually then tend to become the great ones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud.
I mean, you didn't see any of the classic authors being all, I am better than thou,
Yeah,
and
they all,
yeah, they all had humility, and they didn't realize their works were as good as they were, and now it's like they're getting all this acclaim, and yeah, not all are still around, but it was nice to have that humility because once you think that you're untouchable, you make too many mistakes and you lose your fan base because it's like, well, I'm not entertained anymore. This person just thinks they're awesome, but they're not.
Yeah. Well, it's like the ultimate show don't tell. If you tell me you're great, well, that's not very interesting. Yeah. Though some of them, I mean, they all did have egos. You have to have a certain kind of ego, but they all had editors and the like.
People who have to tell others that they're great are doing it because nobody else says that they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So let's go ahead and continue. We're going to move on to chapter 5. And this one, oh my gosh.
Well, didn't 4 end with...
Oops. I thought it was the end of the chapter. It's not the end of the chapter. Oh my gosh, because the oh my gosh happens here. See, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, the Chosen are dead. It's a bloodbath.
Oh, I was devastated. In that short amount of time, I liked Lauren.
Yeah, he's dead.
And they're not just dead, they're just ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally torn in half and ripped to pieces, and it was just awful. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, he said it looked like maddened animals. And then, so now every single one of the Chosen are dead. First of all, it sucks that they're all dead. And second of all, that was their hope.
Yeah. It feels like all the hope was taken away.
Yeah. And then, well, and also it shows us that these demons are, like, we figured they weren't people or entities to be effed with, that they were going to be vicious, but this is the first time we actually see what they are capable. And there was also some foreboding because Wint, the gardener, at first wasn't there, and then he was. He was like, "Hello," and still tending the garden. And then at the end of the chapter, we see Wint's eyes lowered in satisfaction. The changeling went on with his work. So the changeling, the gardener was turned into a changeling and slaughtered them, and he killed a Went because you
The
have to
gardener weeded them out.
Ha!
kill.
He had to kill the chosen.
Oh, yeah. It was terrible, but and that's how we see how it works. Yeah. Oh, really, were you messed up as it by I was really surprised how in short amount of time that he made me care.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you got set up thinking that Lauren was probably going to be one of the main characters, and it's like, oh, okay.
Nope. Psych.
Yeah, and then I really was floored by how brutal these poor kids were massacred, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty rough. So this guy isn't playing around. The Dagdamore wants everyone gone, and he basically said in chapter 2 they'll be dead tonight. He wasn't playing. So I'm like, holy crap. So it's like, things just got real fast. So but yeah, so I felt a really deep sense of dread because, like I said, I was thinking, okay, Lauren's going to be one of the heroes, and nope. So
No.
it was a bit sad and foreboding, but we're only at the beginning, so there's got to be more to come.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that was a that was a good use of subverting expectations.
Yes, and not just for selling identity politics. It was written way back in the day.
Yeah.
Also, it establishes the villains as a real threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is just a changeling. So before we found out that it was him, I was like, dang, the Reaper just went through and just, shredded everyone. And it wasn't him. It was a changeling. So if he's the one that probably wound up turning into some weird wild beast thing to tear him to shreds, just imagine what the Reaper would have done to them.
Yeah.
Or what kind of job is like the kind of job that he needs to do, or what kind of person is he going to go after, So all those things started going through my head at the end of the chapter.
Oh, that wasn't my cat.
Nope, it was mine.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah, everything that you all said. Oh, damn it. I hate my life sometimes, but all right. No, so now we're going to chapter 5. For some reason, I thought that I messed up the break there. Oh gosh. And so, the next part that we see is Ander going and talking to his dad. He's like, they need to locate the chosen, but now we can't. Now we're effed. And then he remembers Amberly. And he's like, oh wait, he hasn't gone to his dad yet. My fault. Because he's walking back. He's thinking of Amberly and like that maybe she's the one. She's the one that we got to do because she's the only one left.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as he's walking, dun, 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 somebody shows up.
A dark figure.
Yes. And I am no enemy of yours. Peace, Aaron Elesadil. And it was that of a man, black robes and lean frame, hood of his traveling coat was pulled about him. And he's like, who are you? And he had a black beard framed with a wide, unsmiling mouth, etc., etc., etc. And he goes, your father would know me. I am Alanon. Yay. So there you go, Rennie. You got your familiar face.
Yeah, I got my serving of member berries, so to speak. But yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit of hope because after the last book, when he kind of went into his sleep, so to speak, it's like, so when are we going to see him again? Or is he going to come back? Is he just going to decide like, he wants to leave the world, and he comes back with a vengeance in this one. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yay. And and of course they were all like, "We thought you were dead." And he's like, "Well, do I look dead?"
Well, I'm not, right?
Uh-huh.
Here I
Yeah.
am.
But it makes sense that they would think he was dead.
Oh, absolutely, because he was gone for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's like, "I must go see your father." And so then Eventide goes like, "You haven't aged. You haven't changed since how?" It's like, "I am who I always was."
Yeah, and they do literally verify that it's been 50 years in this
Yeah.
chapter, which was nice, in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah. There's a less of a time skip between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and even Al-Anon is very insistent that no one can know that I am here. And so they kind of sit and talk to each other. And Eventide is feeling bad because he says, "I left them unprotected even after I was told the forbidding had begun to fail. Perhaps it made no difference, though." And um, see, I'm trying to think here. Oh yeah, and then we find out that Al-Anon spoke with
The
the
Elchris.
tree. Elchris, yeah.
Yeah, because Eventide said something about, oh, well, it's only the chosen. And he's like, no, the chosen are the ones that take care of the Elchris, but it will speak to anyone who, is willing to serve her. And the Druids are a race that is willing to serve her.
Yeah, they're basically serving the world anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Al-Anon had sensed what happened in the break line, the breach.
Yes. So he came as fast as he could, but he was too late to save the chosen.
Yeah, he felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
And then and Eventide, Al-Anon is all, "I'm going to help you, but you got to let me proceed as I see fit." And he tells him two things. He's like, "First of all, I can aid in discovering the location of Safehold. I was shown of Safehold by the Elchris." And he also points out part of the reason why they're having trouble figuring out is because the Great Wars had changed the geography of the old world. So because of all that had happened, that was why they couldn't maybe recognize it. And the Elchris was showing something from before all the geography had changed.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's the first time that I really got the idea that the Elchris was that old. I guess I thought that it wasn't part of the old world. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought maybe it was like 500 to 1,000 years old, if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that old. So that was, pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then of course he brings up Aberley, and Eventide is all PO'd, like, "Go home. No, Druid." So
mustn't speak of her.
How dare you? How dare you? And then Al-Anon's like, "Sorry, dude. Until the Elchris says otherwise, Aberley remains a chosen in her service, a chosen who may bear her seed in search of the blood fire." And this is where they confirmed that Amberley was the first woman in more than 500 years. So she also has a little bit of something special about her from the very beginning. Yeah, see, and then Eventide also really emphasizes that what she did was like unpardonable, like completely unforgivable. And he's like, they might accept her if she's coming to help us, but I don't even know then. So they're really, really emphasizing this is more than just a family breach or something. This is like the whole elven people, and it's like the worst thing that you can do to forsake that calling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Al-Anon kind of explains a little bit about it too, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get to learn a little bit more about her. And I think this is kind of cool that we're learning a lot about her before we actually meet her. And so, and then Al-Anon says he wants to go up to Panamore or whatever, where they've got all these ancient books and things about it that he needs to consult. And then he says, once again, remember, no one can know that I was here. Except, dun dun dun, Dagba, whatever, he, Dagda knew about it. And he said the changeling had served him well. And he goes, Druid, I know of you. And so he sent the Reaper, to wait for the Druid at Paranor, but not alone. He would sense the Druid's power, and he was weary of it. No other help would be necessary. He would bring a handful of the brethren through the eroding wall of the forbidding, enough to snare the Druid, enough to kill him. Dun dun dun. So how the hell did he find out? One of them was a changeling. Like, how did Dagbador find out that Al-Anon was there?
Oh, you'll figure it out.
Okay. So that wasn't clear in this chapter? I didn't miss it?
No, you didn't miss it.
No.
Okay.
They didn't really say, they just kind of alluded to the possibilities, but they didn't say that's how I figured it out.
Understood. Okay. But one of them had to have, because that's the only, because this dude, he's not like the warlord where he can look into his little
Crystal ball. Or,
yeah. All right. So I didn't miss it. So we know that Al-Anon is going into a trap. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. How?
Oh, and he gets a horse.
Yes.
Oh, yes. A nice big one. What's his name's?
Artak?
Yeah, Artak.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the horse is very stubborn. He doesn't let anybody ride them unless he feels like they are strong enough to deal with his powerful, his powerful structure or whatever, so to speak. So he allows Al-Anon to without any hesitation.
Yeah. The Tad that shouldn't be says the Dagdamore hacked Al-Anon's iPhone calendar. You see, that's why you never give Facebook access to your contacts.
Yeah.
Dumbasses. How dare you speak of her before I've had my Ovaltine? Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you for reminding me that I said his name wrong. Jeannie Mac. I try.
Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine, folks.
It's a stupid commercial. Son of a bitch. Oh. All right. So, I don't know, Steve, anything we missed or anything we might bring to our attention?
No, it was pretty straightforward.
Okay. Well, cool. All right. Well, we're going to get ourselves some demon action, and this scared the living crap out of me. I don't care what anyone says. I was freaked out. And speaking of freaked out, no, I'm not freaked out. It is Salty Texas C. Hello, Teresa, he says. Salty Texas, thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. And he's saying hello to Steve. And and I'm assuming Rennie. It's okay.
I would like to
we're
think so.
happy people here. Rennie, we weren't here last week because I forget what was the excuse. It was probably Rennie's fault.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was exhausted from work and I was like, I need a break. So yes, it was completely my fault.
Oh, okay. I forgot that. I forgot if Steve had come up with another reason. Yeah.
No, I didn't wind up in jail this time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He says hi. There you go. Here you go, Rennie. Hello. No, it's okay, Salty Texas. It's okay. I was just teasing. And that goes back to a little bit of a joke earlier on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget who didn't he like. Oh, he only liked Stieg, Jacob. But no, it's all good. So nice to see you here. Yeah, just we're talking the Elfstones of Shannara, the Elfstones of Shannara, and people are asking how things are in Texas. Well, things are pretty good. Things are pretty good here.
It's pretty cool right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah, but you'll get in trouble for saying that in front of Stieg. Um, because our cold is different than his cold.
True, but
Yeah,
it just gets so
I'm from the true north, north of Winterfell.
just gets so dang hot here, man. We're just happy to be in the 60s half the time.
Yeah, are we in the 60s? Let me see. It
I
was
think we're in the
earlier on.
40s or 50s, but
You don't know what it feels like to have to piss yourself just to get 5 seconds of more warmth. And then the pants stiffen because the piss freezes and you can't walk, you're stuck.
yeah, I can't say I've ever done that.
Wow. I've never been that cold. I've never been that cold. But I used to live up in the north. Well, I've been to friggin' Iceland in the winter. That's the coldest I've ever been in my life, actually. That was crazy. But yeah, actually, we got we're in our 70s now, so we're.
Yeah, not I'm barely 40.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, well, that's why it's okay for y'all to drink tea over there. Um, oh, I'm working in a garage as well. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a slight pause because I need to shift. That's partly what's going on here, and I'm gonna have to move a cat. So I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute myself, and while I move the cat, and then I'll let Rennie and Stieg vamp while I'm doing that.
I hope she moves her fucking cat into the grave.
Oh, you. Well, at least not a wood chipper. No wood chipper for the cat, please. Um, so
Yeah.
so on what is it? I just lost my train of thought. Oh wow, that's really cold, Stephen. Dang. So I will say on this chapter, it was a bit of a foreboding for me whenever, you find out that they're going to find Al-Anon and that they're going to trap him. I was a little worried, was a little scared when I read that. And yeah.
Yeah, and we get to see Paranor again, which is, familiar place from the previous book.
Yeah.
Yay.
You didn't get to see it you didn't get to see a whole lot of it, or the parts that we get to see in this one, because, the big bad turned it into a creepy place. So
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Cat is moved. Cat is not happy. And I heard the threat to my cat too. I still had my earphones in. Well, she's not
Hope
going
the
to be.
cat heard it too.
No, it was in my earphones.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, but she knows you. She knows you. She fears you. She's 18, so she's gonna die soon. I mean, though she's my baby. She's my baby girl.
Mine's 10.
Oh,
So
okay, that's young.
she
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. All right. All right, let's go on to chapter 6. This is the scary chapter. This would have been perfect actually to read on Halloween. So Al-Anon heads out. Oh wait, he says some stuff to. Oh wait, that's where he gets the horse. Sorry, in chapter 6, this is where he gets the horse. Act tack, and then we do get some exposition when he gets to Paranor. He fast travels to Paranor, and he's at the foot of Druid's Keep, which is a big ass castle and all that. I really enjoyed the description of this again, and talks about the history, and it talks about Brona and how after Bremen, his dad died, Alnon became the last of the Druids, and he sealed the keep forever. And so I like that little visit with the past and just seeing how cool everything was like as he's going through how everything's all dusty and old and there's rugs and you know, I don't know. It seemed kind of cozy and spooky at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Al-Anon's been busy making a secret library
Mhm.
to make sure all the information is kept safe.
Yes. And I thought that was badass. It was actually in a library where he opens up the door
Yeah.
and there, yeah, and it's in a vault. I thought that was awesome. I
Yeah.
want a secret place like that where people will leave me alone. Um, um, oh gosh, terrible things happening to the cats and the wood chippers. All right, so I no, I like that. And what Al-Anon finds out, I was talking about this a little bit behind the scenes. It confirms what Al-Anon had thought, what he had seen with the Elchris, but he knew the truth must be kept from everyone, from Elventine, from everyone. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
It's like, ruh-roh.
Oh, he has a good reason for it this time too.
Yeah.
So before you get upset, there's a payoff.
Yeah. Well, again, and immediately, actually, in the next sentence, it says, "Uh-oh, this is the same problem the last time." So Brooks is acknowledging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like there. Uh, it's gonna be okay, but I don't know.
He finds out pretty much everything in the books,
Hmm.
which is, you know, great. We get a library scene. That's important when people are investigating.
Yes. No, I love a good library scene. That was part of what I felt was kind of cozy about it, especially like a secret library within a library. Um, and so in any case, now he knows everything, but we don't know everything. But it said his attitude had soured considerably after reading it, and he was anxious to be gone. It was a place of ill fortune. And then not 20 feet beyond stood the humped form of the Daga Moor. And Alanon froze. The demon waited alone, his hard gaze fixed upon the druid, the staff of power cradled loosely in his arms.
Hmm.
And then they come. These were the ones that freaked me out. I'm gonna share the picture here, but Rennie, tell us about the creatures that then show up.
I forget their names, but yeah, they just start clawing at him, and I'm like, wow, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, because like all of a sudden he realizes he's not alone, but it's too late because they've gotten too close, and they just start clawing into him, and you know, Al-Anon gets pretty injured in this fight because he wasn't prepared for it.
Yep.
He thought he was going in secrecy, and he wasn't, and that's why he told everybody, "Don't you tell anyone I'm here. Don't tell anyone you saw me."
They're called the Furies.
Thank you. And they look like old, like said they look like really old women, but like dead.
Yeah.
And like a cat, and like I don't know. It's just weird.
Like Teresa's sharing the picture.
Yeah. Now, I thought that this makes it more like a lion. Yeah, because they have mewling sounds.
Yeah, because it sounded like, you know, some sort of feline animal, but it said they had the faces of like older or dead women. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, their mouths had become the jaws of monstrous cats. So I don't know. I don't know if this picture is exactly how I pictured it. But it's creepy as fuck. I mean, and they tear the shit out of him. But first, it's kind of cool because Al-Anon's able to get away at first by using an illusion. And I
Yes.
thought that was pretty cool. That that sometimes magic in this world is not always like displays of power, but and then yeah, Jacob Ironside says the creatures that have twisted women's faces creeps me out. Yeah, and he has to like, oh yeah, and Dagamore's coming out with the staff of power and all sorts of fire and fire bolts, all sorts of crap. And yeah, when they get on him, the Furies clawed through the fabric of his cloak and tore into his flesh. Searing pain racked his shoulder and chest. But then he was able to throw them back with like a
The blue fire, right?
yeah, and they were stumbling over each other. You see, that's the other thing. Like they're like in a feeding frenzy.
Yeah,
They
we
have
were also told that if they kill him, they will not stop when he's dead. They'll
mhm.
just keep ripping him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then finally what he uses some blue fire on they're because they're out on a little bridge thing, and then that's how he escaped.
Yeah,
And
he runs out onto
a
up a
catwalk.
tower, and they're pretty high up, and he's crossing a bridge over to another tower,
Hmm. Yeah, it's
and
almost like a catwalk.
and he does a Gandalf.
Yeah. Jacob Ironside said she's not from the Whores Flats.
Yeah,
No.
these are different kind of women.
Yeah, they're not the kind you want to meet, and so he does evade them, but it says something that even Alanon is vulnerable to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, because they're magical creatures, right? So, it's one thing if a mortal man comes at him, it's another if, these fantasy creatures come at him, so to speak.
yeah, and there's also the sheer amount of them.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely outnumbered and outpowered.
Uh, yeah, it's scary stuff. Yeah, well, I guess I can see on here how there's a bit of a woman's face. I'm looking here at this. Um, yeah, you don't want to fuck with Furies. Now, Furies though they're from like Furies, what we think of from mythology. They're from the
Yeah, there's different versions of them in mythology,
yeah.
but they're never good things.
No, no, no. They're bad. They're very, very bad. All right. And then this is the last we see of this part of the story. Well, we're going to shift, and I can't find the old map. See, if it's not too much, could you find the
Yeah, I
old
can find
map?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's because I couldn't find it. Stupid Google slides. Was stupid Google sliding. These must be the re-election lioness.
Oh, no.
Oh no, no indeed. Okay, Randy. Anything else before we move on?
No, I think all has been said that needed to be said. I was just relieved when Al-Anon was able to finally slip through and escape. It's like run, get
Yeah,
out. So yes, I was relieved that he made it out alive.
yeah. And I genuinely found it frightening. I really did. It was a very well written, very scary little horror story right in the middle of
Yeah,
all of this. All right. Thank you,
he
Steve.
basically has to blow up the bridge to escape.
Hmm.
yeah,
And if he hadn't, he would have died. I mean, I think that was pretty
Oh
clear.
yeah,
yeah.
All right. Okay. Here is the map because we are now moving to a whole other part of the map. See, we were just actually in Palinor. Where the oh, who cares?
Paranor's in the middle.
In the
Castle in the
middle.
middle.
Oh yeah, there we go. So that's where we were. And there's the Druid's Keep. And then well,
You
for
can see
crying out,
Paranor's not too far from Orbelon.
yeah,
Orbelon's
there's
just yeah.
Arbelon's over there. Yeah, so you can get a little bit of an idea. So And then the break line's up here. And then from the Druid's Keep, now we're going all the way over here to Storlock. And this is where we meet Will Umsford. And I was excited because I knew that
Yeah.
last name. It's like, I know him. I know him.
Yeah, he's Shay's grandkid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he is studying with these gnomes. And we remembered, I was reminded of it, that this was where those gnome little doctor people, they had healed them before. And then Will, he always as a kid wanted to be a healer, and since these gnomes were like the best healers ever, that he went to study with them. And it shows how persistent Will was, because at first they didn't want anything to do with him, and so he still stayed, and he learned their language. And then every week he kept going and speaking to them and saying, hey, I want to study with y'all to become a healer. And they were like, nah. And then finally they allowed him to, and we have him being a healer. And I've also felt like this is a little bit of foreshadowing. It's like when you have a D&D thing and you have a cleric, you have a dwarf, you have an elf, and it's always good to have a healer, someone that can heal when you're on a journey.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Kind of made me think of a role-playing game, kind of like that. It's like, oh, there's the healer.
Yeah, we're gonna need him. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
and he's young, and I like it because it talks about Uncle Flick, the cranky Uncle Flick, and that's exactly how I imagine Flick would be when he was old. He's a bit of a
Yeah.
complainer or curmudgeon when he was younger, but now he's like the grumpy old uncle, great uncle, who came to visit him because what's his name? His dad, or his grandpa, sorry, Shay, couldn't make it. They never tell us why, but
Oh, they said he was sick.
oh, he was sick. Okay, my fault. Yeah. So instead, Flick is there, and he doesn't like, you know, being there, but
He
and he wants
basically went out of loyalty,
yeah.
which is kind of a thing. He's grumpy, doesn't like anyone. He only likes people from where he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
he's extremely loyal.
To Shay, but like, don't you also think because of kind of what they reveal about his feelings for his grandnephew, so to speak, he said they basically said he thought of him as a son because they, for a while, because they did like almost everything together for a little bit, and he couldn't have his own children, and he thought of this kid as a son. So of course it wasn't a big ask to go and see him because he loves this kid.
Yeah, and Flick had been married, but the wife had passed away and they didn't have kids.
Yeah, they couldn't, and it was just sad. Or well, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they said they couldn't, but I know they said they didn't. You're right.
But no, they never had any children of their own. So I mean, that's, I
Yeah.
guess, to assume that it didn't work out. And a Flick gives in talking to him, because wanting him to come home, he gives us some aspects of Will. He says, "Will, you have this stubborn streak in you that seems to have blinded you to the fact that you cannot do everything that you might like to do." So
Which
this
is
is
ironic.
yeah.
Right? It's like, that's weird. Where did he learn that?
Yeah. And then dun dun dun, somebody shows up, and it cannot be, he heard Flick mutter. His uncle did not finish the thought, and he went running out to meet him. And Elanon's like, "Hello, Flick." And he's like, Alanon. And then Will shows up, and Alanon knows him by name. And then he's like, "Tell the stewards to come." And then he collapses. It says, "Do as I say, Veil Man, go. And then Will like goes running off, and that's how the chapter ends. So he's a creepy stalker again. He knows everybody's name and
Yeah.
who they are. Wherever you are, whatever I do, I will be right there waiting for you. I think though that this is a good chapter again, but it was almost like we're doing another introduction, like the first chapters.
Yeah. But at the same time, I did enjoy the callback to the first book, having Flick there and knowing that some things never change. So
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, Stieg, anything before we go on to our final chapter here?
No, not really. Pretty straightforward. Fun to see Flick again, and
Yay.
we get to see Flick be more Flick in the next one.
Yay!
And I think that's where the exposition for the plot stuff ends as well, because now we know everything that's going on once that Will has been introduced.
Yeah. Well, in this chapter, there's one more part where Al-Anon has to
Yeah,
sit and give us an.
there's still quite a few characters to be introduced later on, though.
Mhm.
But it's done naturally, so.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next chapter, chapter 8. And I love it. They help us out by giving us a bit of a summary. And then Flick is like, I can tell you one thing. Every time Al-Anon appears, it means trouble. Because, we all know what happened the last time he showed up.
Yeah,
then,
but we also know that Flick doesn't like change.
Yes.
Nobody better come and mess up my routines. I'm not a happy dude. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and he says, Al-Anon says to Will, I need your help. I need you to come with me into the Westland. I knew it, muttered Flick. Yeah, I love it. And then he's like, it's comforting to know, Flick, that some things in this life never change.
That was really cute. And I feel like Al-Anon was like a little amused by that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, because in the first book, though, in between all the complaining, Flick really showed a hell of a lot of guts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He came through, especially, dang it, at the end when he went into that camp. Holy crap.
Yeah, he disguised himself as a gnome.
Yeah.
He put on gnome face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Al-Anon goes, listen to me, Veilman, and blah, blah, blah. We get a big, long history. But what we learned was that the elves had existed forever, while the men were still as a primitive life form. There were elves, and they had strifed with these creatures, and this was before time. And that finally, when they went up against each other, there was never any deceit or illusion. Good and evil were polarized from the beginning. It was a war that would decide whether the land would be forever preserved or forever desecrated. For the creatures of evil, if they were defeated, it meant banishment. For the creatures of good, if they lost, it meant annihilation. So a war was fought, a terrible, monstrous war. So this was thousands, maybe even, I don't know how long it's supposed to be, but this is where I really got the sense, holy crap, these people, the elves really are almost like the first men, or not first men, first creatures, or
Yeah.
And
this conflict is as basic as it gets. It's humanity versus demons, good versus evil.
Yeah.
You win or you die.
Yeah. And also we learned that, that while the gnomes and the trolls and all them came from uh, people, men, the elves were always there, and then he goes and explains to them how the forbidding and all that happened, which we all knew that, and said the elven people were even part of the old world. They are the legend survived. The elven people are the descendants of the fairy creatures that existed in the old world. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because fairies in quote unquote our world, the myths. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
yeah, and so they actually come from that. So they've always been like magical and in a different but a pre coexisting world with us. Um yeah, and then that the elves have remained. They have altered, of course, and they have evolved. So of course I'm thinking of all those scary fairies that used to scare me in Ireland. I guess they evolved into the elves. I don't know, but those fairies were bad though. But I guess in his myth,
Oh,
they.
we forgot to mention, Alanon told Eventide that he knows where Amberly is.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Al-Anon kind of alluded to the fact that Amberly was actually trying to fulfill what the Elcris was asking her to do, but she couldn't tell anyone. I just feel like he was really hinting at that.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
Alanon needs will because of the Elfstones.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, that
Yes.
is what's revealed, and because we're like, why the heck is he all into that? And then we find out that Shay had given the Elfstones to Will, and that I think you have to have elf. You have to have some elf blood in you, but also if it's like given, it's like the power then is passed to you. So
Yeah, and the Elfstones are not just a weapon, right? That will harm demons. It's also, seeking stones.
mhm.
Remember when they used them to get out of the swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, the GPS.
Yeah, which might be good for finding a place.
You mean a place like Safehold or
Mayhaps.
No.
Because remember, there was a labyrinth in it.
yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. So, and Al-Anon knew that that was the only thing that could do it. Yeah. It's wait. My brain just exploded. Of course. Why didn't I see it? I don't think that's a spoiler to say that.
Nah.
No, because how they work is explained in the previous book.
Yeah. And since Al-Anon knows where he is, where Amberly is, he's like, Amberly, we need you to go with her because of the Elfstones, and he's young and all this other stuff. And of course Flick is all no, and um he's like, let me go instead. It's like, dude, you're too old, and it's got to be Will. And he said there is no other. There is no other. There is only Will. And then Will goes, I will come with you. Yeah. And Flick is very reluctant. He says, you must do what you feel is right.
Well, and I did think it was sad that like Flick wanted to go, and he's like, "Dude, you're just too old. Your heart's in it, but your body won't be able to handle it."
Yeah, because Flick is probably well into his 60s.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been 50 years, right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking 70s or 80s. Well, like maybe
Yeah.
70s.
No,
'cause
he
I'm
was
thinking,
Sorry.
sorry. No, you go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, I was about ready to say, I think we were about ready to say, we thought, how old is he? Was he in
I think I think they were like 20 in the first
Yeah.
book.
So it'd be like 70s.
roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also got the feeling that he wanted to do it not just for the greater good, but it's like, take me instead. Don't don't let basically someone I consider my son to go do it.
Yeah, I think he wanted to protect him, but I think honestly, even though he doesn't want to admit it, maybe he wanted like, another adventure before the end of his life. So, some people don't like to admit it, but I think he did want to get out and have some fun, especially with the kid he considers his son.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's
I think
Will.
you guys are gonna really like the next batch of chapters because this book never lets up.
Nice. Well, no, I mean, I like it. Well, and I find it's easier to, like I said, it's easier to read because you can bring yourself to, if you know you only have to read like 5 pages, it's easier to like just sit down with a cup of coffee and get it done. Again, those other chapters in the Sword of Shannara, I found very intimidating.
Well,
Not
and
intimidating because they were so long.
Oh, you should check out The Witcher. That the chapters there last for over 100 pages.
oh, jeez. See, like with me, I do sometimes get bored a little easily with a chapter that I feel is too long. So when we're jumping from one scene to a completely different scene, it kind of keeps my interest a little bit. So I do appreciate that very much about this book.
Yeah, this one is almost built like a Star Wars movie, which uses the old setup from the old matinee serials.
Ah,
So every chapter is like a scene
Yeah.
almost, and then it ends with something that makes you want to turn the page.
yeah. A little dun dun dun, but not as intense as the other ones. Yeah, Brittany, I know that you have to go pretty much now.
Yes, ma'am.
So
I was just about to message a private chat because I didn't want to
yeah,
interrupt you guys. I'm sorry.
so
I just realized the time. I'm like, crap.
no, I noticed the time too. So I didn't know if you had any last thoughts about everything before you jumped off.
No, like I was saying, it's kind of hard. It was kind of hard for me to get into this book, kind of like, because of the unfamiliarity, but at the same time, we knew it was the same, it fit into the same storyline, so to speak. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not really digging these people yet. But then, then it started growing on me. And, like I said earlier, we thought Lauren was going to be the hero, and nope. So it's like, ah. But yeah, I do like that he shook it up. It's not the same thing over and over again. It's like, oh, look, the big bad from the last one was back. You can't kill him. We'll have to try to kill him again. And, so I do appreciate the differences in that. And I do appreciate, some callbacks to the previous books. So that's really nice. And I am kind of curious to see where we're going to go next. So it did hold my interest, especially these last 3 chapters really kept me very, not, I don't know if at the edge of my seat, but just, made me want to keep going. So, you guys know I typically will do like a read through twice just to make sure, okay, well, I heard and read it the first time, but I really need to go through this again. And so it's nice to listen and read to it the first time and then do it again. And this time it's like, oh, I caught details I didn't catch the first time, because the first time I was really paying attention to more of the plot than the details. And the second go around, I pay more attention to the details. So very much enjoying it, very much having fun with it. And I am excited to see where we go next from here.
Cool. Nice. Dang it, Rennie. That's excellent. And real quick, is there anywhere we can find you?
Not sure this week. It may just be here. If I know they're doing Aliens on Brown's channel, and I don't really care for those movies. Don't hate me, but I'm just not a big fan. They're a bit too gory for me. But maybe on Sunday, we'll see. It might be on Brown's channel. And then, oh yeah, big shout out to Anti-Derivative Jill, who comes to our chat here from time to time on Saturday mornings. She's going to be doing a Lord of the Rings thing in December, so our Silmarillion thing, and so I may be on with her in December. So,
okay, well, keep us updated, about when that's going to happen.
Awesome. All right, you guys, sorry to have to cut it short today, but I look forward to where we're going to go with this next week. So, yay.
I think we're gonna do chapter 9 through 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So if for those reading along, chapter 9 through 16.
Sweet. You guys have a good one. And like I said, sorry to cut it short, but this has been a lot of fun as always. I hope you have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
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 Ah, okay. So any final thoughts, Stig, about
No, the whole setup is done.
Mhm.
Important characters introduced. Not all of them, but there's no spoiler that Amberly's going to be important. She's on the cover, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's shit's about to happen. I think you're gonna really like the next chapters.
Yay. Excellent. Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's really much that Rennie hasn't already said. But yeah, I mean, uh, it is what it is. Uh, d- uh, I really am liking it a lot. And I don't want to say I like it better. Well, actually, I think I do like it better so far than the Sword of Shannara. Um, just I think it's an easier read, and I think I like the way that he jumps into the book. Um, sorry, into the characters and into the story, into the plot a little better. I felt like it was less heavy on the history. I felt like the Sword of Shannara had a little too much exposition at the beginning.
Well, a lot of the first books in a fantasy series tend to do that. I mean, it even happens in Dragonlance. You know, they need to
Yeah, that's true.
they need to explain the world.
Yes. Yes and yes. Tad that should me said one of the great things about this book is that the threat is immediate and the plot just happens. Not a lot of exposition. Ah, see, yeah, you feel pressure as a reader. Yeah, yeah, and yes and yes, and yeah, I see the necessity. You're right, Steve, about that. You have to have that to, you know. Uh,
Yeah, and I mean, even the Fellowship of the Ring does it.
oh yeah. Oh hell yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. I'm excited about seeing more of what's going to happen. I think that the stage is set. We're going to be moving over to Will and Amberly, and well, and Alanon said that he was going to be hanging around, doing some stuff too. I thought he said something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Al-Anon in this book.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Now I'm just curious, even though I know that the TV show is crap. Um, who's the actor that they got to play Alanon in the show?
Um, what's his name? He was on the Spartacus show. He played Crixus.
Okay, was he
Manu
any good?
Bennett. He was okay, but it never felt like Al-Anon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and of course, every time we say Al-Anon, I keep thinking of.
Oh, and he had a sword in the show as well. It made him
Oh,
more of a warrior type.
well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's really stupid. Oh wait, I'm looking him up here. Oh no, that's not him at all. Gosh darn no. No. Ah, they suck. But oh well. Um lost opportunities, lost opportunities. Story of our lives.
Yeah. Oh, and
Um
the demons had skull bearers. That makes no sense.
no. Not within his world because he can't
No.
do that. Yeah. Well, I guess just as another example of hey, look, we have this great source material. Let's go ahead and let's change it and make it suck.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Well, Well, that's pretty much it. That's all I have today. I didn't know if there was anything random you for a free for all or anything on your mind you want to get off your chest.
No, not
No,
really.
no burning desires, no hatred for humanity.
No, just regular hatred.
Regular hatred, yeah. If Lady Gravemaster were here, we yeah, she's always got something to say. She's got something to say. Let's see. What does Jacob say? Oh yeah. Oh yes, that is good. Oh, I see. He's just confirming that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're just getting ready for the election here. I gotta actually vote on the day because I wasn't able to make early voting. So hopefully I'll be able to go on an off time where it won't be too too crazy. We
Yeah,
shall see.
better do it as fast as possible.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not gonna wait till the last minute. I'll probably go in the morning, right after rush hour, because you don't want to go like right before everyone goes to work, because that can also be a long line. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be an interesting it's gonna be an interesting few days. Oh well, where can I find you, Steve?
Um, Here next Saturday, and
Okay.
maybe on Mara's channel this week we're going to talk about like an
Ah.
alien stream, and she's doing aliens the next week. So
Oh well, cool.
that's it.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason why folks are into Alien right now? Is there an anniversary or something going on?
No, just that it's a lot of people like it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, that's always good. Well, I want to thank everyone that came in. Thank everyone that came in. You can find me here at Miss Martin Muses. Going to be doing some morning musings, likely, or okay, let me rephrase that. Morning musings, midday musings, mid afternoon musings, or Monday musings. I go live when I can, around doctor's appointments and Pilates. So just stay tuned and keep that little bell on. And I always like to visit randomly every now and then. I want to thank Jacob Ironside. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reading along with us. Thank you to Tad That Shouldn't Be, Keck44, Stephen Ransom. We had Matt G, who always brings the bacon. Salty Texas, Zax, Steve, I said Stephen Ransom. Let me see. I hope I catch everyone. If I do not thank you, it is not personal. I'm just scrolling through and finding. I do appreciate you all, and all of you that will be listening on the replay. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain
Don't go to
to
horror flats.
to not, yeah, to not go to Orphan. Thank you.